Game number 2 here, Don Scudder against Alan Downs. Don has been on our show every week so far this year, week number 4. He's been the king twice, but he qualified this week with a 734 series.
And he is tough, Todd. He's one of the toughest bowlers in our area. Don Scudder, if he wants to get a little revenge on Terry Ciccone, he's going to have to go through this man, Alan Downs. And with the exception of one pitch, last game was perfect.
Ooh, but he starts off poorly in this one.
Tough way to start against anyone, but especially Don Scudder. Alan, the smartest thing to do here is to take 2 pins, the 4 and the 7, throw it hard across lane, and pray that one of the pins bounces out somehow to get to 6. But pin count could be important.
He's open in the first.
Look at Don. He's up on the approach, ready to go. He wants to jump on that open as quick as possible.
Cleans him out.
The light Wally.
Not textbook, but the result was the same.
Let's take a look at it here. You want to see pins doing their job? We're going to watch it here. Watch it. Pick out the head pin again. Center your screen. It's the easiest one to watch. It's going to go to the left, come off the wall. Right there. It's going to left, come across, take out the 4, knock the 4 into the 5, and then take out the 7. That's pin action, Todd. And that's what the game is all about with a lot of the better bowlers. Not only are they accurate most of the time, even when they're not, their balls have a lot of action on it to just throw those pins around. Identical.
Same way. Exact
Identical.
same way.
Yeah, that's right. Just a carbon copy of the frame before.
Don comes back with a smile on his face. He knows he didn't throw 2 ideal balls, but the result is ideal with a couple of strikes to start off the game.
He's going to work on that ball a little bit. The feel must not be quite right.
Well, he's back to game 1 form right there.
He's taking the ball away a little bit more this game, as we're going to see here. Let's check it out on the replay. Good footwork. Shuffle step. Heel toe. Heel toe. Good firm follow through. Now this ball is going out about 2 boards wider than what it was before, but the 6 pin is coming off and just tearing the 10 out of there.
You said he didn't feel good with the ball in his hands. How can a guy who rolls a 248 in game 1 not feel good with the ball in his hands?
No, Don Scudder. See him there? He's working on his ball.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Alan.
No, he looks like he feels good all the way around.
Leaves the 4-pin.
Tough shot. Now, during the course of the TV show and league bowling, makes no difference. The lanes will change, and you have to adapt to those changing conditions. Alan right now is finding that the lane, especially the left lane, is hooking a little bit more, and he's going to have to make an adjustment.
Kicks out the 4-pin. He's 29 through the 2nd frame, with a spare working in the 3rd. And Don Scudder, as you can see, is perfect through 2.
Sure is nice to look up the sheet and see nothing but X's. And one more time. That was a little more textbook that time, Todd.
But that 5-pin looked like it was stubborn to go down, though.
Well, let's take a look at it here on the replay and see what we can find out. Don Scudder's eyes are intense. 11th board. Good roll on the ball. Now it goes into its final roll. Little deflection there, but not too much to speak of. 10 pins down the lane. What we've got is a pin jam on top of the rack on lane 13. This happens periodically at any of the establishments, and you just have to have a guy run back there and snop it off the top, and then we're ready to go.
Talked about Don Scudder, 32 years old. He's a claims examiner for the state of Ohio. He's got a 211 average. Started bowling at the age of 7.
Former claims examiner. He's retired. he tells me.
Temporarily.
Three in a row to start. A slight delay in between frames. Don Scudder throws the ball through the nose.
You think that threw him off?
It's tough to say, and I mean, once you make a mistake, you can almost make an excuse about anything. But when you get a tempo, when you get a rhythm going, and that rhythm is broken, it could very well have an effect on you.
4-6-7, and he takes out the 4-7.
Well, he did the proper thing, going for the 2 pins and the pin count.
Well, especially when you're up on your opponent, and Alan Downs had the same split to make in the first frame and did not too.
Exactly. Alan Downs, a breath of life, can get back in the game if he starts striking.
And he starts right there.
Like Don Scudder, don't open up on this man. He's going to dig in, reach back for a little extra on this one, and let her rip. Right over the 10th board. Super ball. A lot of authority. Perfectly played.
Don Scudder with a 16-pin advantage, but Downs working on a strike in the 4th.
Could cut that advantage to 6 pins with this strike.
And that's what he does. So Alan Downs looks like he has settled down here in game number 2 and is back to that game 1 form.
Let's watch it here on the replay. He's going to execute perfectly, get through the ball with some authority. Now let's see a little emotion here at the end, Alan. No, we're not going to say it. He's into it. We're going to have a match here, Todd. I can feel it.
Well, Don Scudder says let's make it a match. Good to be here, you know, at Northwest Bowl today. George Griffiths, the proprietor, also here today. Fran Ruggieri, who's the vice president and general manager of the Golden Triangle Fund Centers. You know, Northwest Bowl will be hosting their annual handicap doubles tournament the next 2 weekends. This tournament is open to any league bowler currently bowling here at Northwest. So call Northwest Bowl for details.
Here we go. Hold on. Let's buckle in here, Todd. I think we're going to have a shootout.
Yeah, I think these guys are standing toe-to-toe right now.
You want to see perfection? Here's perfection. Super arm swing. Good position at the foul line. Nice and low. Deep knee bend. Going through the ball. Super strong. The ball perfectly in the 1, 3, 10 pins in the pit. There we go. There we go. We got some emotion.
Boy, Alan did a dance after that one.
Well, he threw the ball perfect, super strong. He liked it, and he was going to let Don Scudder know he is here to play. Let's check it out here. Again, he's going with a little more arc. 9th board, take the ball away. A lot of speed, a lot of roll. Yeah. It's a shootout.
You know, we talk about how do these bowlers become so good. How else? They bowl a lot. Don Scudder bowls between 20 and 100 games a week. And Alan Downs here bowls between 10 and 20 games a week. Open bowling's the answer.
Look out. Oh, it held up. What a super break for Alan Downs.
4 in a row now for Alan Downs.
Now, in the past, where he's been arcing the ball out to the right, this ball, he gets in a little bit, goes a little straighter right there. It goes over the 11th board, but it holds. Super reaction. What a match. It's in the area.
Head on. Lucky that 7-pin tripped out.
Hit his target, but he eased up.
If that 7-pin hadn't dropped, that could have been the game right about there, the way Alan Downs is rolling today.
Let's watch it here, Todd. He's been going over the 10th, 10.5, 11th board, and he's going to be there again. Right over the 10th board, but he threw the ball softer, which means, see there, it hooked about a foot or a foot and a half too soon. and that makes a big, big difference. Speed control in this game is critical.
Takes out the 610 to get the spare.
Bowling's just an absolutely fantastic game for everyone. It's very exciting, it's a lot of fun, but it's super critical. It's one of the toughest games to master going.
Alan Downs now with a 6-pin advantage, but he has a strike working in the 7th. Scudder with the spare in the 7th, now bowling in the 8th.
Alan Downs wants to get to the championship match and see just how good Terry Ciccone is.
The 5-7.
Don Scudder went with a little more speed. Let's check it out here on the replay. The ball is just never going to go into that good firm roll that we looked at before. It's going to hit the head pin, center your screen, and deflect to the right. See there? Now it just jumps to the right. The pins are not going to do their job that way. Don Scudder's going to try to hit the 5-pin to the right-hand side, slide it over into the 7.
And does it. Beautiful. That keeps him in the game. No doubt about it, that keeps him in the game.
Excellently played. You take your strike shot, you move your feet 3 boards to the left, you hit the same target, and this is what's going to happen. The ball's skidding out to the right. Let's just watch it. It's beautiful.
What's the percentages of that one?
I believe the percentages for the pros are about 5-1, maybe 4-1, something like that. It's close again.
This guy's a machine today.
Great.
He is rolling today like Terry Ciccone did last week.
Yeah, he is. And Alan could have made the show last week, too. Who knows what kind of match we could have had. 18 pins. Alan Downs to the good with a bunch of them working.
5 in a row. Going for 6 in the 9th. He's got 6. And these are just solid textbook strikes.
These are no doubters, Todd. Watching a replay on this could be the 3rd or 4th or 7th frame. They all look the same. They're absolutely perfect.
Downs is working on a possible 259. The best Don Scudder can do is a 231. Light again.
Don knows that the match is basically over. He never likes to quit, but when you look up the sheet and you just can't get there from here, it takes a little out of you.
He'll go after the 2-5.
Alan is happy. He's talking to Bo Hudapole, the executive tournament director.
And Don cleans him out.
Don's a great champion, and I'm sure he'll be back. We'll be looking for him in the finals for sure. I'd like to remind everyone that every bowler you see here on the telecast will make it to the finals, and they will be competing for big, big money. Our last show of the year.
And he leaves the 10-pin in the 10th.
Just doesn't seem to have it today.
There's not as much zip on the ball as it seems in the last 3 weeks.
Very similar to last week when he was dethroned by Terry Ciccone. A lack of authority, a lack of roll. Don't quite know what the problem is, but Don is a tough bowler, and I'm sure he'll get it ironed out. Well, last week, Ty, when he left us, remember he had to drive up to Columbus to bowl?
That's right. Did we find out that he get a speeding ticket?
No, he somehow eluded them. Well, I'm sure he went 55.
He could buy about 6 CB radios with the money he's cashed out in here the last few weeks.
You're right, but he bowled exceptionally well up in Columbus. I think he finished 4th or 5th in that tournament.
Well, he finishes here with a strike with a 208. But this game will belong to Alan Downs.
We've got one of the legends in the audience here. This show's been on for many, many years, and the man that gave us one of the biggest thrills ever, Dave Newkirk, was our reigning king for 10 weeks in a row.
7 in a row now. 7 strikes in a row for Alan Downs. 248 in the first game. And he could finish with a 259 in this one with 2 more strikes.
And not just strikes. They're perfect, bone-crushing strikes.
Another bone crusher.
He's eating these pins alive. I think Fran just went in the back to get a couple of new sets of pins out. He just beat these to death. Not taking quite as much time since it is just the fill ball.
Fills it nicely. Finishes with a 259. So Alan Downs, definitely the hot bowler here today, will advance on to our championship game against our king, Terry Ciccone, when we return on the BPA King of Bowling.